Hello folks, welcome to Netcruzer RC. Check it out, I finally have my build 4 done, finally. It's time for the reveal. You get to see this Tamiya TT-01-E man racing truck. Here we go, in 3, 2, 1. Here she is, finally done, complete. I'm quite happy with how this turned out. White, red, and black theme. And overall, everything has turned out really nice. I went for a red to white fade along the side here, which I wasn't exactly that happy with, but the stickers, all the livery stuff turned out really nice. I made a change with how this fifth wheel hitch attaches. By the book, it's supposed to stick up quite a bit. I didn't like that. It was really floppy and sitting high, looked kind of weird, so I reamed out the holes more and stuck it down in a little bit more. I chose not to put a sticker on the rear bumper, but I did print some of my own stickers, so I've got my new N logo, some Netcruzer RC up in here. I added some Netcruzer RC. Even these little side arrow pieces are good advertisement spots. This is by far the most sticker bomb truck I have, but since it is a race car, it makes sense, so I went to town with the stickers. The body is by far the most complicated part of this build. It does take about twice as long as building the chassis does. When you think about it has 4 pieces: the paint, all the cutting, all the fitting, trimming, and then decals and final assembly, as well as some of the bits that are really nice, like these side mirrors. It does have clear Lexan on it, so it gives it a shine that you may or may not be able to tell on camera. But some of the details are really cool, like it's got the radiator here, it's got a turbo bulge, you've got some intake and assembly stuff here, the motor itself. And the wheels and tires are quite nice. They're big rig style, and the tread is, that's what the tread is like on them. So before I race it, I have a couple things that I would like to improve. There's a trick with the tires where you're supposed to add glue to the inside sidewall, which gives it more rigidity, because these are really soft and they have no foams in them at all. So when you race, they would have a lot of sidewall deflection, and actually on the high grip carpets, you're actually trying to give it a stiffer sidewall so it slides around a bit more instead of grabbing. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do that right away, because my local track uses a carpet that is actually kind of low traction, so I might just leave them until I try it. There's supposed to be a mod where you can add more foam to the front bumper, because one thing that I am noticing is that it is very, very much front heavy. Like, there's a lot of weight sitting on here, and it's kind of floppy. So if you can add some more foam to strengthen that up, that would be probably a worthwhile thing to do. So I'm going to look into doing that. And then it's just some race tweaks, like putting on a better connector, because right now I'm still using the Tamiya just for testing, just for bench testing. So I want to put a better connector on, and just some other race mods, wire in my transponder. But other than that, it's good to go. So it's raining out right now, so I can't actually show you it running, unfortunately. If you're interested in this, I will cut in some clips that I have of painting the body and some of the body assembly process, because that might be interesting to you. Before I cut that in, if you enjoyed this, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. Started prepping some of the decals. Came in one big sheet, and I've cut it out because I've got the painting done. I back coat everything in this silver, which gives it a nice solid backing so that you can't see any light through. So that is a tip for if you're painting. You want to make sure you have a nice solid back color, all the same color. It does improve the paintwork on the other side significantly. So I still have some final trim pieces to do. I still have some final trimming to do. Trim around here, trim around there, trim this better, trim that a better, and then assemble. For something like this where you have to trim all the way in, make sure you have curved scissors. That's one big thing, curved Lexan scissors. And then you can start taking big sweeps out, and you can get at a good angle to try and trim that off straight, because it is a bit of a bear. This is really thick in this part too. This is for the back of the cab, but just one example, because it's got some interesting cuts. little bit of an advanced body for build off for sure. It's a 4-piece. For some of the more intricate trim pieces about where you need to trim from, it's a little bit unclear, so you do have to take a look at this documentation a couple times, and you look at the ones that are already cut out, and it shows you, you know, how you should be cutting it out around what area. Because when you're looking at this, if you're looking at this area here, you're thinking, oh, I need to keep that because it's got that little indent in it. Nope, you cut that right off. Cut along the top and then swoop down in and mold, and then go along the mold line under. Okay, the final trimming is all done for the most part, and now I'm on to one of my favorite things to do when building a new kit, which is the peel. I'm going to start peeling off the exterior film where you get a really good sense of what you've done. All of these bodies have a mask on them that keeps the overspray off, and you got to peel this off, and then the body will look way shinier and way better. Now it's a bit of a bear to get it off, but yeah, so you do the whole thing. So make sure you don't put your decals on before you remove this stuff, because you got to peel off the whole thing. Ooh, my fade didn't really work out as planned, did it? I was hoping that was overspray, but oh well. That's what you get for rushing. Alright, the cab is assembled, the mirrors are on, and the back panel is assembled. It is stuck on with the double-sided tape that you get with the kit, and you do get quite a lot of it. They want you to use the white double-sided tape for doing the body, and you get quite a lot of it. I have like 4 or 5 sticks of this stuff. So the cab is done, which it's glued in all along the outside here with double-sided tape, and it turned out pretty darn well. And now this will sit on here like this. And this piece now needs to be double-sided taped onto the front. I'm working on applying the tape for holding the upper cab onto the chassis, and you do get a lot of extra tape with the kit. So the sponge, I cut this and added these 2 sponge foam pads. You have enough for 2 more, and you don't need it anywhere else, so I think it was beneficial to add it all the way along the front. I already did a test fit. You can have foam all the way along that front, and the cab will fit just fine. So I'm going to do that, give it even more bumper support in the body. So before I tape the cab on, I'm going to apply my Gorilla Tape Clear to the inside of this, particularly around the seam. I'm going to tape in there and along some of the edges, just to give it a bit more strength before I seal it on. So I just finished adding the Gorilla Tape Clear to the inside of the cab, and I don't know if you can see it, but I've got tape in and along all of the seam, and I also put some along the very front up in the window base, because this was a really flimsy area before, and adding that 1 strip of Gorilla Tape really strengthened it up. Before it was really soft. Time to stick it on. Peel all the liners off the sticky double-sided sticky tape. And I made it. Ah, crap. Have to hook it under the front and then back. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay, last piece. I chose to just put 1 big strip across the front instead of a bunch of little pads, since I have so much tape. Why not? I find it's easier to work it the one way. This one up and under. It's bright, but that's what I wanted for the racetrack. I wanted it highly visible, so white and red. I'm not sure how I feel about my fade, but I wanted to tie in some white. I wanted white on the rear for visibility. So that's how it turned out. Alright guys, so this is it. This is my final reveal video for the Stevo D313 RC Build Off 4. And, you know, I was the last one to finish, so slacker on me. But here it is. It's all done, and it is ready to race. I am pretty happy with this. I really like how it turned out. I still really wish that it had to come with some oil-based shocks, but they don't. So whatever, because it is bouncy, like friction shocks. It drives me crazy, but other than that, this is a really cool rig. I love the scale looks of it. That's awesome. Euro Truck Racing, here we come. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. If you want to talk to me, leave a comment down below. And as always, thanks for watching.